So, have you ever done anything so colossally stupid that your family's still talking about it years later? I'll go first. We were traveling. We had just spent Christmas in England with my husband's sister and her family. Best Christmas of our lives, by the way. Then we spent a couple of days in London with our younger son after we sent our older son back to his army unit in Europe. And so we get checked in at the airport. It's time to leave. We get checked in. We get through security. I do some shopping and just drag the guys along because, they're really not wanting to shop. And so we got our gate information. We get on the train to go to our gate because Heathrow's a really, really big airport. And we get to the gate. And after this whole time of me making sure everybody still has their passport, nobody's lost their phone, everybody's got everything they need, we get to the gate. I don't have my passport. So imagine the panic that ensued after that. It was not good. It was actually, I hit panic mode. We went back trying to retrace our steps, trying to look for it. And we ended up in a secured area where there was just a lone security guard. And it wasn't an area where the public is actually supposed to be. Couldn't tell you how we ended up there. I have no idea. So he actually was very, very kind and got on his radio, said, we've got a lost passport. It's for this flight going to Chicago at this time. If anybody finds it, we've got the passengers looking for it. He said, go back and retrace your steps, but don't get back on the train because you will end up outside security and you will not be able to get back in without your passport. So we did the best we could. My husband went one direction, I went another direction. And mind you, this is all 40 minutes before the flight was supposed to leave. So definite panic. Definite panic. So I finally went back to the gate. There were British Airways people that were there that could help. Told them the situation, through all the tears and the panic. And they were very, very calm. They were great. They really helped me out. They said, okay, this is what we're going to do. They gave me a dedicated rep who took all of the information that we had. Now, we had copies of everything. We had copies of our passports. We had copies of our driver's license, copies of all the credit cards, just in case we needed them. So I highly recommend doing that if you're traveling, especially overseas. And through all of this, I learned that U.S. Homeland Security has an office in Heathrow for these issues, for this eventuality, because I guess this happens a lot. What happened was I ended up leaving my passport on the train. And who knows how many times it circled Terminal 5. Who knows? But I did not have it yet by the time the plane finally boarded. But I got clearance to fly without a passport, which was embarrassing. And I was told, when you get back to O'Hare, you're going to need to go to an interview room with one of the Customs and Border Patrol agents. Great. I was really looking forward to that. So we get on the plane. I'm still just in an absolute panic because I'm like, I'm not going to be allowed to be let back into my own country. And my friend Gary from British Airways came running down the jetway with my passport in his hand. Somebody had found it. It still had my boarding pass in it even. Somebody had found it and turned it into the gate personnel. Homeland Security hadn't canceled it. I was good to go. It's funny now. It was not funny at the time. And my adult children are still, they still say things like, hey, you remember that time mom lost her passport? Because it's a funny family story. It really is. It's just a funny family story. The flight attendant that we had was great. He saw that I was stressed out and he gave me a bunch, and I do mean a bunch, of those little airplane bottles of vodka to mix with my cranberry juice. And he was very, very nice. His name was Luis. And I still remember this. But know that I am the queen of doing colossally stupid things when she travels. I'd love to hear any of your things that you've done that you think are pretty stupid. Can you relate? Have you had anything like this happen? And I will talk to you later.